Chosen one, stop scrolling. Stop doubting. This isn't just a message. It's a divine instruction straight from the throne of heaven. If you are hearing these words right now, it's not by accident. It's not coincidence. You've been led here by something higher, something holy, because God is releasing something that was once forbidden. For so long you felt blocked. You've been holding back, silencing your power, waiting for the right moment. That moment is now. God said the very thing that was once off limits. The secret, the strategy, the forbidden trick is no longer hidden from you. It's allowed. And not only allowed, it's required because the strikes are coming in your life, your surroundings, even the world. And if you don't move now, if you don't act now, you could miss the breakthrough He's placed in front of you. This is not a game. The spiritual realm is shifting. The enemies of your destiny can feel it, and they're trembling. But heaven has issued a command. Use what I gave you. Unlock what I hid in you. Don't delay. The time to walk in fear, in hesitation, in spiritual silence is over. God is raising His chosen ones, not to just survive what's coming, but to command it. You are being called to activate what was once forbidden. And this time, you have divine permission. Listen to me. The next season of your life will not wait for your comfort zone. The windows are opening, but not for long. You must take action. Not tomorrow, but now. That forbidden trick, it's already inside of you. That spiritual tool you were afraid to use, God says, use it. That bold prayer you've been afraid to pray, speak it. This is spiritual warfare, and you've been equipped. It's time to engage. But before we go any further, do 3 things. Not just as a formality, but as a prophetic act. First, hit that like button. It's more than a click. It's a confirmation. Second, subscribe, because what's coming next will unlock realms you never knew existed. And third, comment 99 below. That number is a spiritual signature, a divine agreement that you are in alignment with this word. And let me tell you something only your spirit will understand. If you are truly a chosen one, you won't click away. You'll feel it in your bones that this message is speaking directly to you. And if you stay until the end, what's been delayed will begin to move fast. What's been blocked will break open, but only if you obey. Now let's go deeper. For centuries, this sacred access point to divine power was locked, hidden by divine command. Not because God wanted to withhold it, but because the world wasn't ready. Human hearts were too chaotic, too distracted, too ego-driven. The technique was too powerful, too immediate, too sacred. But now the time has shifted. The veil has thinned, and only a handful, the spiritually alert, the disciplined, the chosen, are being whispered this truth. You are one of them. This isn't a fairy tale or religious myth. It's a real divine system awakening in real time. The world outside is in flames. Wars, mental breakdowns, identity crisis. But beneath it all lies an ancient blueprint being reactivated. God is not playing games. If you're feeling cold, that tug in your spirit isn't paranoia. It's a summons. This trick is your access point, not to escape life, but to survive it. To finally align with God in a way that no system, no guru, and no religion could offer before. You must understand, this isn't about belonging to a church, a movement, or a trend. This is about soul, survival. This is about energetic recalibration. And if you're reading this, it's because something deeper in you is already resonating with the message. You are not random. You're one of the few, the 1%. The time has come to step into the unseeable realm and take your place in this spiritual strike. We've entered a time where missiles and mental illness are both erupting, but only one makes the headlines. The spiritual world is bleeding into the physical, and most are blind to it. Depression, rage, confusion, fatigue, these aren't just emotions anymore. They are spiritual attacks, and the next wave will not just hit economies or borders. It will hit your mind, your soul, your frequency. You must prepare, not later, now. The wars we see on TV are mirrors of what's happening in realms beyond. Angels and demons aren't fairy tales. They're real energies, real presences. And right now, they're clashing over humanity's soul. You were not placed here by mistake during this time of shaking. You were born to witness it and withstand it. And that can only happen if you arm yourself spiritually. This forbidden trick is your armor. Don't wait for the next headline to prove this to you. Don't wait for your mental breakdown to realize you're under attack. Act now. Move now. God is calling not with thunder, but with silence, and only the tuned in will hear the whisper. This trick, this divine method, isn't a last resort. It's a first defense. Use it now or be consumed by the spiritual fallout that's already in motion. The ancients knew it and they feared it. Prophets whispered it but never fully revealed it. It was sealed up, protected by divine will. Not to punish, but to preserve. Because if the wrong hands accessed it, the damage would be catastrophic. But today, God has unsealed it, not for everyone, but for the ones ready to carry its weight. You are being handed access to something humanity forgot, a direct connection to the source. This isn't religion. This is raw spiritual technology, divine coding, the original Wi-Fi to the Most High. And now, as systems crash and empires fall, this sacred technique is returning like a lost frequency beaming into your soul. It doesn't require candles, chants, or crystals. It requires stillness, obedience, and alignment. You're not here to observe history. You're here to change its course from the inside out. What was sealed is now open. What was once too strong for mankind is now the only thing strong enough to save it. The trick is simple, but it's not soft. It demands your attention, your silence, your surrender. It is not flashy, but it is the most powerful activation left. God has entrusted you with what was once forbidden. Now prove you were worthy of the unlock. Heaven doesn't operate like earth. God's systems aren't on man's timeline. While people wait for signs in the sky, God often moves in whispers, in nudges, in divine discomfort. The gate to safety, to alignment, to divine communication. It's narrow and it is beginning to close. Not because God is cruel, but because this world is accelerating into a storm that few will spiritually survive. This trick, this method of divine connection is not a convenience. It is a lifeline. You don't have months, you don't have years, you have moments. While the world screams louder, the Spirit speaks quieter. That voice you keep ignoring, that sense that something deeper is calling you, that is heaven's gate nudging you in. Don't wait until it locks. Don't wait until spiritual famine hits your soul. There is a moment in every life when silence becomes the loudest truth, when the world's noise becomes unbearable, and your only option is to tap in deeply, directly, divinely. This is that moment. Use the technique, hands over eyes. Say it, I am one with God. Let that phrase unlock the heavens. Before the door shuts, before the strike lands, before the light fades, you are not empty. You are not alone. You were designed to carry divine downloads, spiritual codes, eternal wisdom. But this world has clouded your vision, numbed your senses, and poisoned your frequency. The veil between heaven and earth was meant to be thin, but only to the pure, the prepared, the awakened. This trick, it pierces that veil. It gives you access to what was always meant to be yours. God has vaults, spiritual storage, filled with strength, insight, healing, and strategy. You don't need to beg for it. You need to align for it. The technique: both hands over your eyes, darkness within, silence without, is a re-entrance to the divine. Command center. You're not escaping life. You're upgrading. You're syncing with the highest frequency available to any human being. If you could see what's waiting for you on the other side of your stillness, you'd never delay again. Divine clarity, unshakable peace, inner invincibility. That's what's behind the veil. But only those bold enough to look inward will receive it. Don't waste this access. Don't delay your inheritance. God's vault is open, but not for long. It seems too simple, too quiet to matter. Just two hands gently placed over your eyes. But this isn't just a posture of stillness. It's a prophetic position. The hands form a gate, a shield, a spiritual seal. It blocks the illusions of the world and opens the eyes of your spirit. When you place your hands over your physical sight, you tell your soul, now it's your turn to see. This is the moment the Spirit takes command. In the Scriptures, blindness often led to divine vision. Paul was blinded before. He saw. Prophets were hidden before they heard. When you shut out the physical light, you give God room to activate the internal sight. That's why this position was kept secret, because its power was not in the body, but in what it triggered within. This isn't yoga. This isn't superstition. This is divine architecture being activated. This is holy protocol, and your obedience to it is your shield. In a world flooding with fear, chaos, and manipulation, protection no longer comes from walls or weapons. It comes from alignment, from covering, from frequency. And this simple act, hands over eyes, breath slowed, whispering, I am one with God. It rewires your field. It turns you invisible to enemy forces. It places you under spiritual radar. While the world fights loud, you're moving in divine stealth, hidden, covered, untouchable. We live in an age where the battlefield is the mind, mental fatigue, overthinking, spiritual numbness. These are the chains that keep people locked in false prisons. The enemy knows it. Doesn't need to cage your body if it can cage your thoughts. But God is not silent in this war. He has handed you a key, this ancient forbidden method that shatters the mental wall between you and Him. This isn't just about calming your mind. This is about freeing your soul. The walls in your head built from trauma, lies, noise, and distraction are not permanent. They're breakable, but only by divine force. When you use the trick shutting out light, whispering truth, you're not meditating. You're launching a spiritual jailbreak. You're declaring war on your inner chains, and heaven responds with power. Imagine the weight lifting. Imagine the fog clearing. That's not imagination. That's revelation. You weren't made to walk around spiritually blindfolded. You were made to see with divine eyes, to think with a renewed mind, to hear from God without distortion. This trick is the beginning of that freedom. But it requires surrender, stillness, consistency. Use the key. Unlock your mind. Walk out of the prison. What was once banned by heaven is now being commanded. Do you feel the shift? Do you feel the urgency? This is not optional anymore. This trick, once too sacred to use, is now your divine assignment. God isn't just suggesting it, He's urging it. He's placing it in your hands like a spiritual weapon with one instruction: use it now. Why? Because the world is entering a phase where logic will fail, where strategy won't be enough, where the systems built by men will collapse like sand castles in a storm. And in that chaos, only the spiritually attuned will remain grounded. Only those who've built their bunker in silence, in spirit, will have the strength to stand. This technique is your blueprint for survival. It's not luxury, it's life or death. There is divine timing in every release. This wasn't made available years ago because we didn't need it then. But now we're in the center of the storm. You are not hearing this by coincidence. Heaven has timed this message for you. The command has gone out, not to the masses, but to the remnant. Obey it, activate it, live through it. Forget fantasy. This isn't poetic. This isn't symbolic. The spiritual bunker is real, and you will need it. You're watching the world unravel, from government systems to personal relationships. But beneath the surface, an invisible war is shaking foundations. What you build on now will decide whether you stand or fall. This trick, this alignment is your only safe house. A bunker isn't just protection. It's preparation. It's where the chosen are trained, refined, equipped. God is not calling you to hide. He's calling you to fortify, to become immovable. The world will drown in panic, but you will operate in peace, in clarity, in supernatural discernment, because you've built your inner sanctuary. You've activated your frequency. You've aligned with the highest source. Imagine hearing chaos and being unmoved. Imagine watching collapse and still receiving divine instruction. This isn't wishful thinking. This is reality for those who take this seriously. The spiritual bunker is a state of being. It's not somewhere you go. It's who you become. And the first stone is laid in silence, hands over eyes, with the whisper, "I am one with God. Build now or fall later." You can't stop the missiles. You can't stop the madness. But you can stop them from entering your atmosphere. You are not meant to carry the weight of global collapse. You are meant to stand as a portal of peace, a carrier of clarity, a node of divine energy in a world gone mad, but only if you shield yourself. And this trick is your armor. There's a reason everything feels heavier lately. It's not just politics. It's not just the news. It's spiritual crossfire, psychological warfare, and it's hitting the minds and souls of those who are unshielded. But you've been shown the secret. This divine activation forms a force field around your spirit. You may still walk through fire, but you won't be burned. You may still hear the noise, but it won't enter you. This isn't fantasy, it's spiritual physics. When you align with divine frequency, lower energies can't touch you. Your aura changes, your posture shifts, your mind becomes unshakable. That's the power of this trick. Not to take you out of the world, but to let you walk through it untouched. Missiles may fall, madness may rise, but you stay unshaken. Your imagination is not childish, it is sacred. Technology, it's where visions are planted, where heaven speaks. The world has hijacked imagination with fear and fantasy, but God designed it as a divine projector. And when you place your hands over your eyes and visualize unity with God, you are doing more than meditating. You are shifting dimensions. This sacred exercise changes your frequency in seconds. Your body calms, Your brain shifts from fear to faith. Your energy field aligns with divine resonance. And suddenly, where there was anxiety, there's confidence. Where there was confusion, there's clarity. You're not imagining for escape. You're imagining to create, to align, to activate heaven's code within. Don't let anyone diminish this. This isn't woo-woo. It's spiritual science. Your thoughts are electric. Your imagination is magnetic. And this trick, it syncs both to God's will. That's power. That's transformation. That's immediate impact. One moment of divine vision can outweigh a lifetime of fear. We are more connected than ever and more lost than ever. Digital noise is killing divine connection. We scroll more than we pray. We post more than we listen. But God is not on Instagram. He's not on Twitter. He's waiting in stillness, in silence, in sacred disconnect. That's where you reconnect to real power. The power grid of heaven doesn't run on likes or signals. It runs on obedience, attention, alignment. This trick cuts the cord from the chaos. It's a spiritual reboot, a return to source. Every time you place your hands over your eyes, you unplug from man's grid and plug back into God's. That's why the results are immediate. Peace floods, strength rises, heaven speaks. You're not crazy for needing silence. You're not lazy for wanting stillness. You're being recalibrated, recharged. This divine tool isn't a delay, it's a download. And what God wants to give you in silence is greater than anything the world can offer you in noise. Disconnect now before the signal dies completely. Most won't believe this. Most will laugh. Most will scroll past and return to their fear, their feeds, their fatigue. But not you. You're here. You're reading this. You feel the fire in your bones. That's because you're part of the 1%, the remnant, the sensitive ones, the obedient ones, the ones heaven can trust. You were sent here not to blend in, but to break through, to rise silently while others panic loudly. The blueprint has always been hidden. That's how God protects it. But He's revealing it now to a chosen few. You are not ordinary. Your sensitivity, your discernment, your hunger for more, those are marks of the chosen. This trick isn't just for you. It's your signal, your assignment, your unlock code. The 1% don't wait for permission. They act on revelation. You've been shown the way. Now walk it. Use the trick. Open the channel. Become the blueprint. Sometimes power requires disappearance. The chosen don't rise by making noise. They rise by becoming invisible to the system. God is calling you not to stand on a stage, but to enter the sacred chamber. Vanish from the world's radar. Not out of fear, but to be refined in silence. This trick, it is the doorway to that hidden empowerment. In every story of transformation, the chosen one first disappears. Jesus in the wilderness, Moses on the mountain, Elijah in the cave. Why? Because the wilderness is where power is downloaded. This isn't punishment. It's preparation. God hides what He's about to use. And you're being hidden so you can rise, stronger, quieter, unshakable. Let the world chase attention. Let them seek followers, but you seek the source. Vanish in the presence of God. Use this trick to enter the hidden room where destiny is written in silence and power is forged in fire. The final strikes are not far off. You feel it in your body, in your dreams, in the chaos around you. But panic is not your portion. Confusion is not your inheritance. You were born to see through God's eyes. And that requires one thing. Break the seal of fear, of doubt, of limitation. This trick is your hammer. Use it. Once the seal breaks, revelation floods. You'll begin to see beyond time, sense beyond logic, know things the world can't explain. That's not fantasy, that's spiritual intelligence, the kind needed for this final phase. The chosen won't survive by strength, but by sight, not physical sight, but divine vision. You must see differently to live, differently. Do it now, hands over eyes, whisper it. I am one with God. Break the seal, change the lens, enter divine sight before the storm blinds everyone else. You are not helpless. You are not weak. You are chosen, and your clarity is your shield. Your voice was never meant to echo fear. It was meant to declare truth that pierces realms. In times like these, when words have become cheap and noise is everywhere, God is raising a remnant whose voices carry weight, not volume, not popularity, but heaven's authority. And that only happens when your words are born in stillness and forged in spirit, not ego. Most people speak from the mind. Some speak from emotion, but the chosen ones, they speak from the Spirit. That voice breaks yokes. That voice shifts atmospheres. And if you've ever felt silenced, ignored, or out of place, it's because your voice was not meant for ordinary ears. It was created to shatter spiritual barriers. But before you speak, you must align. You must tap in. The forbidden trick prepares your voice, not just your mind. This is why silence matters. Because in the silence, God calibrates your tone, your truth, your timing. He gives you words that don't just inform, they ignite. This isn't public speaking. This is divine speaking. When you speak from alignment, even one sentence carries the weight of prophecy. It cuts through lies like a sword. It awakens the dead. It breaks strongholds. That's the power of a sanctified voice. So stop doubting your voice. Stop rehearsing their scripts. You weren't made to mimic the world. You were made to disrupt it. But that begins with spiritual realignment. Speak less to people and more to God. Then, when it's time, open your mouth and let the fire flow. Because the world doesn't need another opinion. It needs your anointed voice. Many are crying out, "Where is God? Why is nothing changing?" But the truth is, heaven is not delayed. It's waiting on you. Not in condemnation, but in invitation. The gates are open. The downloads are queued. But obedience is the trigger, and until you take the step, heaven's movement remains paused. Not by punishment, but by protocol. Obedience is not just about moral behavior. It's about energetic alignment. It's about saying yes when your spirit trembles. It's about trusting when your logic argues. Every act of obedience sends a signal to the divine. I'm ready now. And heaven responds not to need, but to readiness. The trick you've been shown, that's your step. That's your obedience test. Use it and watch the gates burst open. If you've been feeling stuck, it's not because God has forgotten you. It's because your next level requires a deeper level of surrender. You can't access new revelation with old habits. You can't receive spiritual rain if your cup is turned upside down. God isn't waiting on your perfection. He's waiting on your yes. And yes begins in stillness with the eyes closed, hands over face whispering, I align, I surrender, I trust. So stop waiting on God like He's a late train. Heaven is fully loaded. Your blessing, your clarity, your power, all waiting on the next move, and that move is yours. Obedience is the ignition. Revelation is the reward. Move now. Obey now. Watch the impossible become inevitable. Too many people have been told to ignore their emotions, suppress them, or hide them. But what if your emotions weren't your enemies? What if they were coded signals from your soul? What if your anxiety isn't weakness, but a message that your spirit is misaligned? What if your grief isn't dysfunction, but an invitation to deeper healing? The chosen understand that feelings aren't flaws, they're flags. God wired your body and spirit to alert you when something's off or something sacred is trying to be born. The technique of stillness, hands over eyes, isn't just to shut out chaos. It's to give space for your inner world to speak. Because beneath the fear is often clarity. Beneath the sadness is often revelation. But you'll never hear it if you're always numbing it. When you sit in divine alignment, emotions rise, not to hurt you, but to heal you. God is not afraid of your feelings. He designed them. He moves through them. But He also transforms them. When you feel deeply in His presence, your emotions shift from heavy burdens to holy guidance. Anger becomes passion. Sadness becomes sensitivity. Fear becomes fire. The trick isn't to feel less. It's to feel in alignment. Don't run from your emotions. Run with them toward the throne. Let them guide you back to source. Let the sacred stillness give you language for what your soul's been trying to scream. Because when your emotions are healed and aligned, they don't destroy you. They empower you. The world waits for the future like it's somewhere far away. But the truth is, the future is not ahead of you. It's already inside you. The ideas, the inventions, the insight, the vision, it's all planted in you like divine code waiting to be unlocked. But the unlock doesn't happen in motion. It happens in stillness, in silence, in divine proximity. This trick isn't just for protection. It's for revelation. God's not just trying to save you. He's trying to launch you. He's trying to download blueprints that will shape generations, but you'll never hear them through distraction. You need inner Wi-Fi. You need to tap the signal. And when you do, watch what floods in. Future strategy, prophetic creativity, timeless innovation. It's all inside you. That's why the enemy fights your stillness. He doesn't want you to discover what's inside. He doesn't fear your hustle. He fears your alignment. Because when you tap in, you stop following the world and start building a new one. You stop consuming and start creating. That's what this trick is for. Not just spiritual survival, but supernatural innovation. You are the future. You are the answer someone is praying for. You are heaven's strategy wrapped in skin. Stop waiting for the world to change. Go within and release the change you've already been carrying. It feels like isolation, like abandonment, like being forgotten. But what if your loneliness was sacred? What if it wasn't punishment, but preparation? Every major move of God begins with separation. He pulls you away, not to punish you, but to pull you deeper into truth, into clarity, into power. And yes, it hurts, but it's holy. Before elevation comes excavation. God must strip away what can't go with you. He must quiet the noise so you can finally hear the assignment. This season of being left out or overlooked is divine. The crowd would dilute you. The spotlight would distract you. So He hides you for a moment, for a reason, for a mission. This trick is especially for those in the wilderness, the hidden ones, the misfits. When no one else understands, God does. He meets you in the silence, in the stillness, in the pain of loneliness, and there He whispers identity, strategy, power. The trick, it makes the separation sacred. It turns loneliness into launch mode. Don't rush to rejoin the crowd. Let God finish the refinement. Sit in the silence. Place your hands over your eyes and know you are not forsaken. You are being formed, and soon you'll emerge, not broken but unbreakable. You've been taught to separate the physical from the spiritual, to treat your body like it's a shell instead of a sanctuary. But the truth is, your body is a divine portal. It carries memory. It holds divine patterns. It resonates with heaven. Your fatigue, your aches, your gut feelings, they aren't random. They are spiritual signals, not physical accidents. God never designed your spirit to exist apart from your body. In fact, He chose to dwell within it. The temple isn't just a concept, it's you. And when you neglect or ignore what your body is expressing, you risk silencing a major voice of divine communication. That's why this trick, this sacred practice of stillness, darkness, breath, activates not just your spirit, but your nervous system, your cells, your entire being. You don't just connect with God spiritually, you feel Him physiologically. Each time you quiet yourself and go inward, your body begins to detox. The noise, the fear, the trauma. This isn't just spiritual practice, it's spiritual healing. The body has been carrying things the spirit was never meant to hold. When you sit in divine silence, your system recalibrates, your hormones shift, your mind releases old programming. God speaks not just to your soul, but through your skin, your breath, your rest. Don't treat your body like a barrier. It is the bridge. It's time to treat it as sacred. Fuel it. Listen to it. Invite God into it. Because this vessel, flawed, fragile, yet fearfully and wonderfully made, is your divine antenna, and when it aligns with your spirit, you become a living portal of power, presence, and purpose. That feeling of not belonging, of being too intense, too deep, too different, it's not a curse, it's a signal. You weren't made to fit into broken systems. You were designed to fracture them. The chosen ones don't walk through open doors, they create new ones, and that often means walking alone, misunderstood, misjudged, and divinely set apart. You've felt it since childhood, that tug to question, to push deeper, to challenge what others accept. That wasn't rebellion, that was recognition. Recognition that this world's system is out of sync with heaven, and you were sent to disrupt it, not with chaos, but with clarity, not with anger, but with alignment. This sacred technique is not just for protection, it's for activation. It fuels your difference. It lights your fire. This world rewards conformity, but heaven rewards obedience, and obedience often looks like standing alone in the fire, but you were built for it. The spiritual strike isn't just about hiding, it's about confronting the storm from the inside out. You are not a mistake. You are a divine fracture line, sent to split the dark and usher in light. You will never fit because you weren't made to blend in. You were made to break through. So instead of dimming yourself, burn brighter. Use the trick. Stay grounded.